Hey, so I haven't done a video in a while about anything garden related. I don't know. Uh, I don't like editing, so I'm just gonna do everything in one take. Screw it. So I had a friend online who was talking about how they tried to plant some seeds and grow something in their window, and they're just like the very first time they tried to grow anything. So they didn't know what to do. Simple. Like if you're just starting, you have no idea what the rules are, right? You could do something wrong and plant won't grow, seed doesn't grow, something like that. So I'm going to do the very beginning. Very beginning. I have two things to plant. They're the easiest things to grow in lower light conditions, for me anyway. One of them is Celtis, but you can use any kind of lettuce at all. They're very tiny seeds. I'm going to show you. Little itty bitties, right? So we're going to use this tiny container and we're just going to grow a few of them. So the first rule is that you fill your container to the top. Fill it to the top. You don't want it, with a gap. You want it all the way to the top, right? I'm going to take a little handful of dirt out of there so there's some room for the seeds. Now, I just put dirt in there. You want to make sure that the dirt you plant seeds into, anything into, is damp. So I'm giving it a really, really good water. I'm just like soaking that dirt until I see water come out of the bottom. See that? Right? This isn't fancy dirt. This isn't fancy dirt. This is like the cheapest $1 bag of topsoil I could find. And actually about half of this, up to about there, I just dug out of the ground. I just took a shovel and dug a chunk out of the ground. Doesn't have to be good. So now I'm gonna get my seeds. The seeds will stick to your hands if your hands are wet, so dry my hands off a little. Now, I'm gonna get about, looks like, I don't know, maybe 10 seeds. I don't need them all. If I plant them all, it's all gonna be tiny lettuce. And then I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle them in there. Get in there. That handful of dirt, sprinkle it on top. This, just like that, filled to the top, right? Even with the edges. So it's filled all the way. I didn't skimp on the dirt, filled it all the way to the top. Watered it really good, seeds in the top. I'm gonna very gently, because I don't want to disturb the seeds or like wash them around, I'm just gonna drizzle so that top layer of dirt's wet too. Now the seeds are gonna be wet in here, and that means they're gonna germinate. Every day, I'm gonna put a little water on top of this, just like that. Just that little sprinkle, until I see the seeds pop and germinate. I don't have a spare window, so I'm just gonna put them outside, out here. It's pretty hot out, so I don't know if they'll germinate. Lettuce likes to be kind of cold. It's worth a try, right? But that's the basics. Fill your pot to the top, all the way to the top, all the way to the top of the rim. Dig a little bit out, put your seed, make it totally wet. Dig a little out, put your seeds in, gently sprinkle. If you have a dome or some plastic cups and you can put them over where the seeds are, that will keep them damp too. And as soon as you see the seedlings, the baby plants come out, then you can take that off. You can stop worrying about like constant water. Once the seeds have broken through their seed casing, they can get water from a little lower in the pot. So you don't have to water as often then. But to start with, fill it all the way. Unless you're planting a potato, which is the second easiest thing. Now this potato you can see has lots of sprouts, right? I forgot about him. He looks like a little guy. He looks like a little man. So with these, you want at least a piece big enough to feed the plant to begin with. And most people will set these out until this shrivels up and dries. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not. With potatoes, you can leave a little space on top like this. You can leave like a couple inches, but you want a big enough container that the potatoes can actually happen inside this pot. So you need a bigger container for potatoes. And I'm gonna put all 3 pieces of this guy in here, and you want eyes to the sky. You want them looking at the sky. Even a little bit of that green poking out of the dirt. Because this kind of potato, regular grocery store potato, what they will do is they will grow leaves up and roots down from wherever you put them. So if you put them very deep, they will grow not as many potatoes, and the stem will have to work to get to the top. If you plant them too shallow, bunch sticking out, it has to work harder to get down in there. So you don't want it too shallow because you want a lot of potatoes. They need depth. And also, these are not indeterminate. These are just grocery store potatoes. Indeterminate potatoes are the ones where you hear me will say, hill them up, add extra dirt, that kind of stuff. So I've got them in there. And again, I'm gonna soak it good until I see a little water come out of the bottom of the pot. Because I want all of the dirt that's in there to get wet. I want it to hold a little moisture. There's little drops coming out the bottom right there. Yep. Okay. So this is done. Those are already plants. They're already starting to grow. Now, again, I don't have a window. So these, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll just put it in there. Good enough, right? Now, we've planted them. I'll come back again and I will make a follow-up when those seeds germinate and when those potatoes start to sprout. But right now I want to show you what happened with my last round of potatoes and the round before. I was going to do this all in one take. I don't know why I hit stop. So the round before it, here is a big pot. Let me show you. Right here is a pretty big pot. And you can see these potatoes are growing up and out. They're just growing up and out, making potato plants. This will end up filled with potatoes. I did overload it with way too many baby potato plants, but at this time of the year, like here's another one. At this time of year, I don't care. I'm after baby potatoes with these because it's already August. They're not gonna have time to get really good before frost, beginning of October here. If you have a long season and you can keep them in a shady space or in your window where it's cooler, you might actually get full-size potatoes. Now these are my first potatoes that I planted this year. They're very big, right? That's a sunflower, what the hell? They did make flowers and they're starting to get ratty. You know, you see how yucky they look. That means that under the ground, potatoes are forming. When they make the flowers, it tells you that the potatoes are starting to form in the roots. So when these made flowers, I got very happy and excited because it meant there was some potatoes existing. At that point, I kept them pretty well watered. But now that they're starting to kind of die back, here's a really dead one. I'm done watering. If it doesn't rain, they'll be dry and they'll dry out and they'll look yucky. Let me show you this one. I'm just gonna lift you taller so I can show this to you. So out of all of these potatoes, there is one that's already dead. It's already died back. These are all healthy and nice, but look at this guy. Look at this. Can I peek in there and see what he's doing? Yeah, why not? Let me get in there and pull him out. Look at that. It's already dead to the root. So this potato's done. You can't be scared to just reach in that dirt and feel around. Oh, there's potatoes. So this is what he made, right? These are some potatoes that were in there. Leaving them in here and not harvesting them all, because I don't want to bother the other ones. It doesn't matter. Potatoes won't really go bad in here as long as I'm not keeping it soaking wet. The big fear is that they'll get rotten, you know. But the deeper I dig down, I can feel there's big potatoes right next to me. Even though that guy got mature a little early and he made babies, these bigger plants, I can feel those bigger potatoes in the dirt under there. So I stole these. It's a little too early. But considering I put a potato about this big with one little eye, like a little piece this big with an eye, I got 3 times as much food out of that as I put into that specific plant. Um, this plant, it flowered early and it died early and made these potatoes. Very easy. When the potato plant looks like that and it's all, crinkly and yellow and it's fallen over all the way and it looks dead, that is when you pull your potatoes. Do not pull them before that. If you want to steal a few babies, wait until the flowers have come and gone. You can kind of reach in the side around them and steal little baby ones to eat. With the seeds, it's totally different. We have to wait for them to germinate, and then we have to let them grow. Lettuce, and then it's Celtis, so we're going to cut leaves, not the stem, the leaves. With Celtis, as the leaves get big, you cut each leaf off the stem. The stem gets thick, and then that stem, it's kind of delicious. Here's some more potatoes, but tucked away in these potatoes, right here, is a Celtis. Right here is a Celtis. So as this make leaves, I pull the bottom most. I don't know if you can see this. As it's making leaves. Yeah, you can see that. That bottom leaf. That goes on a sandwich. I did this earlier today, so there's no bottom leaves left on any of them, but that stem that's left behind is food too. As it gets bigger, you can wait. Oh, and then you can cook it. You can slice it up and fry it, and it's really delicious. I've had these last year, and they were really good. The stems were really good. Regular lettuce, if you planted regular lettuce, just wait until there's leaves. Pull the big outside leaves for your sandwiches, and then eventually it'll make a head. You can cut the whole thing. You can leave the roots in the ground with a few leaves, and it'll even make some more leaves for you. Most lettuce is cut and come again. If you cut but you leave some stuff, it'll grow back even more leaves. It won't do it permanently, but you can get a little bit more out of it. So that's how to plant. Fill the pot all the way to the rim. Not deeper, all the way to the rim. Water it good, put your seeds in, cover it or put it in a cool place where it can get some light. And then wait. Keep it damp and wait. When the seeds pop up, don't worry so much about keeping it damp all the time. You just want to water whenever it feels dry. Stick your finger in the dirt. If it's dry about an inch down, water it. That easy. And those are the basic rules. Quality of dirt, unless you're growing something really intensive, lettuce isn't demanding. Lettuce, chicory, greens, they'll grow in anything. Potatoes will grow in almost anything. You may not get like a huge yield, magnificent harvest or whatever if you're not using, good soil and fertilizer. But, are we after that? Or do we just want one potato to make me 3 potatoes? Are you just trying to grow something because you've never grown something before? Or are you trying to be like a professional farmer? If you just want to plant something, that's the easiest way, and you don't have to worry so much about spending money on things. You can take a bucket and poke some holes in the bottom for drainage and do exactly what I did with that pot. You can actually find those pots for free in back of garden stores or at gardeners' houses, or by asking someone like me. I would give you one for free. I would actually fill it up with dirt for you. So the seeds, you can get them at the library, or you can ask somebody who grows things. Most people will share seed. And that's about it. That's the beginning. That's how you plant your first plant. Put it in the light and keep it damp till the seeds pop up. I'll show you again what happens when those seeds grow.